So good afternoon, I think for most of you. Good morning for me since I'm on the West Coast. So pleasure to be here with you today. I'm Ghada Osman. I am a yoga therapist and I'm also a psychotherapist. And yeah, it's my pleasure to be here with you to lead us through some practices for folks, especially who are putting in a lot of time, of energy, of labor in a lot of different ways day to day. So this is a chance for those who are caregivers to have a little bit of space for yourself. So appreciate your being here. And then also I'm hoping that our time today will give you maybe a couple of things to take with you to practice day to day to kind of help balance things a little bit. So let me get a little bit of a sense of folks in the space. And if you missed it when I mentioned it at the beginning, being in your chair for our time today totally works. Most of what I'll be leading us will be in a chair with the option to stand if you would prefer to stand. So yeah, let me get a little bit of a sense, first of all, of folks in the space. How many of you have practiced yoga before? Okay. So a few people. All right, thank you. So one of the differences about practices that are more for a particular context, particular life circumstances that we're in, as opposed to, let's say, a general yoga class, is that when we're in particular life circumstances, we don't necessarily have the hour or the hour 15 or the hour and a half to go and take a yoga class. And if we have that, if we're able to carve out the time, then that's a wonderful practice to have. And at the same time, what actually helps us keep going day to day are the smaller practices that we can turn to that literally are a couple of minutes long, 3 minutes, 5 minutes, that in the middle of a day we can put in. And so that's a little bit of our intention for today is I'm going to offer us different practices and I'm going to invite you as we practice to notice and file away what might be something where you think, oh, okay, this resonated with me. I can imagine returning to this throughout my day. When it comes to caregiving, so research on caregiving kind of describes 3 stages of caregiving, or 3 situations of caregiving, I should say. So the first one is caregiver stress. And caregiver stress is what it sounds like, that I'm experiencing stress because I am a major caregiver for someone or someone's. So I'm balancing a lot. There's a lot on my plate. I'm thinking I need to do this. I need to take care of this. I need to monitor this. However, stress is something that most of us manage day to day, even if it's a lot. What shifts as we caregive more is there can be a shift from what we describe as caregiver stress to what we describe as caregiver strain. So caregiver strain, and for those of you who are caregivers, thinking about this for yourself, that's when we're starting to feel like we're holding too much. And maybe instead of the more caring emotion that we have towards the person with whom, to whom we're a caregiver, we find ourselves impatient. We find ourselves tired because we're holding too much. We're starting to feel strain. And so having some practices where we notice that and we notice, okay, here's something I'm beginning to feel that strain, or I'm fully in that strain, if this is something that you're identifying with, let me practice one of these things for just a couple of minutes. So that's in large part what these practices can be for, is in that moment where I feel, this has become so heavy, I'm carrying so much. Let me take a moment to do this. Let me take a moment to practice this. So that's what I'm inviting you to notice as we practice today, is if any of our practices are one where you think, you know what? Yeah, I could turn and do this for a minute during my day, and maybe it'll help me reset a little bit in the middle of everything that I'm carrying. Caregiver burnout is what it sounds like when we're really burned out. And we really need to take the time to fill our cup because it's becoming empty and there's very little to give somebody else. So the more that we're able to incorporate time for us, the less likely we are to, or the less frequently we visit the burnout area, with the knowledge that sometimes, yeah, there isn't that time. And that's why we're looking at these briefer practices. One more thing that I'll mention here before we begin our practices is that a lot of the time, what I term reset practices, so where I'm feeling overwhelmed and I'm like, okay, let me take just even 30 seconds for myself, can involve just one of the senses. So if there's a candle or an oil that I smell just for even a few seconds to try to reset, a song maybe that I listen to, so just a couple of minutes, a view that I like looking at might be on my phone if it's not directly outside my window, where I just take a moment to look out and come back in. All of these brief resets are what help us then be in that present moment and hold a little more of the space for ourselves in the middle of everything else we're holding. So I'm going to invite us, as we're sitting here, to be in whatever position feels most comfortable for you. So taking a moment to arrive there. If you're not there already, feel free to shake anything out. Feel free to release anything in any way. One of the positives of being on Zoom and having the option to be muted is that includes also sound. So if there's like a or whatever sound there might be to release that feels like it fits right now, doing that, as well as shaking anything out or being in stillness if that's what your body needs right now. And I'm going to invite you right now to just notice one word or phrase that might describe how your body feels without doing anything with it, just noticing where you are right now. And then I'm going to invite you for this next 45 minutes or so to imagine that you are putting aside what you typically carry just for this amount of time. So imagining that you're literally putting it aside, and maybe you're putting it into a container. Maybe it's a box, maybe it's a jar, whatever it might be, you're putting it aside. It'll be there at the end of our time, but maybe we don't need it right now. You're putting it aside, allowing yourself to be here in the present moment, and taking a breath in and a breath out. We're going to start with a lion's breath. So again, the advantage of being muted is our lion can be as loud or as quiet as fits for us, but nobody else gets to hear it. So lion's breath is a very strong release on an exhale, like that. Releases on exhale are literally like strong exhales are literally like releasing something, so we can let go of some of what we're experiencing. Lion's breath is one where we inhale through the nose, exhale through the mouth, and then also bring the hands up like this. So powerful release, right? So if you're very close to the screen, like I am, I'm going to go a little further back so that we have space also to come forward just a little. So from here, bringing the hands in front of you. Inhale here, and then exhale, ha. And bring the hands down to your lap. Take a breath in and a breath out. And we're just going to shift the screen a little bit more. And one more time here. So hands come in front, inhale, and then exhale, ha. Release that and bring the hands back to your lap. Take a breath in and a breath out and just notice the body. Notice the arms. Notice the shoulders. Notice the face. So noticing the lion's breath and its impact on your body and what might resonate with you, what might not. So whatever resonates, filing it away in your mind. Whatever doesn't resonate, imagine you're literally just dropping it by the wayside if it's not a fit for you. I invite you now to bring the hands in front of you with a little bit of space between them. Looking at the hands, and we're going to breathe in for 1 as the hands come a little further apart, 2 even further apart, 3, 4, and then exhale in the other direction, 4, hands come to closer, 3, even closer, 2, even closer, 1, closer but not touching. Continuing now here, inhale, 1, 2, as the hands come apart gradually, 3, 4, exhale, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 4, 3, 2, 1. Twice more at your own pace. Feel free to go more slowly than I've been guiding. If you would prefer to go faster, just making sure you don't go more than twice as fast, but no faster than that. And really allowing the gaze to remain on the hands if that works for you. Once you've gone through the second time, pause here with the hands a little bit of a distance apart, noticing the space between the hands. And then allow the hands to come close and far, just a little bit as if you're like playing a small accordion. Just noticing that movement. And then bringing the hands anywhere that resonates for you. Could be at the heart center, could be on your arms, your face, your legs, whatever it is. And pausing for a breath in and a breath out. And again, notice what resonates and what doesn't. Filing away what resonates, letting go of what might not. Releasing your hands down onto your lap, pausing here for a moment. Notice your face, your neck, your shoulders. And now bringing the chin to the chest. Pausing here for a moment. And then rolling the head so the right ear comes above the right shoulder. Notice the left side of the neck. Rolling the head so the chin comes to the chest and over to the left side. Left ear is over the left shoulder. Noticing the right side of the neck. And now bringing the chin back to the chest, rolling the head over to the right again, right ear is over the right shoulder. This time, feel free to bring that left arm up to about 45 degrees and really reach through the fingertips as if you're trying to touch something on the left side of your space. Relax the right shoulder as much as works for you. And take a moment to move that left arm up and down slowly until you have a sense of where it feels like it works for it to land. Where you feel sensation, but your breath can still flow smoothly. And if there isn't a place where the breath flows smoothly, then bringing it all the way down. If there is a place where the breath flows smoothly, again, continue to reach through the fingertips as you relax that right shoulder. Notice the breath, making sure the breath is flowing. And bringing that left hand back to your lap if you've moved it. Notice how the left side of the neck feels now. And now roll the chin to the chest, bringing the left ear over the left shoulder. Pause here for a moment. Notice how this side feels compared to the other side. Usually we're not totally symmetrical. And then bringing the right arm out, any amount, if that works for you, feel free to move it up and down until you arrive at a spot where you feel sensation, but the breath is still flowing smoothly. Feel free to reach through the fingertips of that right hand. And if having the arm out doesn't work for you, keeping the hand on your lap. Again, noticing the breath. Releasing the right hand back to the lap if you moved it. Pausing for a moment, noticing how the right side of the neck feels. And then rolling the chin to the chest. Pausing here. One last time, bringing the right ear over the right shoulder. This time we're going to bring the fingertips of the right hand, but we're not going to press them. Instead, we're going to press the head up into the hands. So fingertips of the right hand come behind the left ear, kind of on that curve of the skull. And we're actually pressing the head up into the hand. So feel free to experiment with moving the fingertips along the ridge of the skull behind that left ear, until you arrive at a place where it feels like you're really pressing the head up into the hand and allowing that left shoulder to relax as much as possible. Notice if you're gripping with the right hand and allow the grip to relax. And again, notice the breath, continue to press the head up into the hand. So as you press the head up into the hand, it should feel like there's a little more opening on the left side of it. And releasing the right arm down. Roll the chin to the chest, pause here for a moment. Notice the two sides of the neck. And then bringing the left ear over the left shoulder. Pause for a second, and then bringing the left hand. So fingertips are on that ridge of the skull behind the right ear. Feel free to move them until you land at a place where when you press up, so press the head into the hand, it allows that right shoulder to relax a little bit more. Again, notice the breath. Release the left hand. Roll the chin to the chest. Pause here. Notice the two sides of the neck now. Something may feel different. It may not. Just noticing. Being in the present moment, which means noticing what changes, what shifts might be happening in the body, however small they might be. And then from here, go ahead and bring the head back up to neutral. And if it works for you to close your eyes for a second, feel free to do that. If you would prefer to keep your eyes open, looking at a gaze in front of you, gaze point in front of you, and just again, notice. Notice the face, the neck, the shoulders. Noted what resonated, noticing what did not. From here, we're going to tuck the chin into the chest. We're also going to clasp the hands together. So just letting you know before you tuck while you're still looking ahead at the camera. And then tuck the chin into the chest, bring the hands behind the head. And if it works for you to bring the hands behind the head, and press the hands down into the head. So the shoulders that relax and the elbows come towards each other, that's one option. If that doesn't work for you, feel free to bring the hands onto your lap and allow the chin to relax down towards the chest. So your body might be here or your body might be here. Notice any sensations in the back of the neck and between the shoulder blades. And then as we inhale, if you have the hands on the back of the head, separate the elbows and tilt the head back so it's almost like the head is resting in the hands. You don't want to tilt that far back. So your head is just at vertical, just a tiny bit tilted back from vertical, but not more than that. And if you have the hands on the lap, then just bringing the head back, looking up if that works for your neck, but making sure that you don't have the head tilted all the way back. A lot of pressure on the back of the neck. So alternating between those two movements, inhale here, and then on an exhale, bring the chin to the chest. And if you have the hands behind the head, elbows come towards each other or hands on the lap. Inhale, bring the head up, tilt it back just a little bit, looking up, whether the hands are behind the head or on your lap. Exhale, chin to chest. And again, notice the sensations in the back of the body as you go through 2 more times at your own pace. Inhaling, tilting the head back, hands on the back of the head or on your lap, and exhale forward. And if you have the hands on the head, when you come forward, really allow the weight of the hands to press down into that head area, the back of the head. Notice the sensations in the back of the body. Once you've gone through the second time, pausing with the chin at the chest. If you have the hands in the back of the head, really pressing down this last time. If you have the hands on the lap, really tucking the chin into the chest any amount. And then for all of us now, unclasping the hands if they're in the back of the head, and for all of us bringing the hands to the lap. And now keeping the chin at the chest, but straighten the spine so that the shoulders come back, but the chin is at the chest. Here, turning your head so that you're looking over the right shoulder, so the chin is parallel to the floor as you just look over your right shoulder. Inhale, come back to center, looking straight ahead. Exhale, looking over the left shoulder. Notice how the movement in the neck feels in this direction. Inhale back to center, looking straight ahead. Exhale, right. Inhale back to center. And exhale left. And inhale back to center. Staying here at center this time as you exhale, relax the shoulders, but keep that straightness of the spine as much as you can so the top of the head is reaching up towards the ceiling. So a lot of the time as we move through our day, especially if we're carrying things, bringing things, helping support, someone's body, we do a lot of movement with the shoulders coming forward and crunched. And so noticing how it feels to sit with the spine straight, top of the crown of the head reaching out towards the ceiling. From here, option to stand if you would prefer to stand or to stay seated. And we're going to inhale, bring the arms up to shoulder level, palms are down. And then we're going to rotate the hands here. So to give you a preview of where we're going. So yeah, feel free to stand or to stay seated. And then once you bring the arms up, if this works for you, palms reach or pointing up and fingertips reach out to the sides, whether you're seated or you're standing. Notice how this feels in your arms. Notice the sensations in the arms as you really reach. Imagine you're trying to touch the walls on the sides of your space here. And now from here, if it works for you, maintain the extension through the fingertips as you reach the fingertips up towards the ceiling, but relax the shoulders down. Great. Maintain that reach to the fingertips. And now we're going to take 5 long deep breaths to bring the arms back to that position where they were at shoulder level. Notice where, as you lower, where you feel the most sensation. And then bringing the arms all the way down for another 5 breaths. Notice the sensation in the arms. As you bring them down and as they come all the way down, sensations in the face, the neck, the shoulders. Notice if the movement, quote unquote, woke up your body, or if the movement didn't resonate. But if it woke up your body, perhaps filing it away for a time when it feels like that would help. From here, bringing the arms up to shoulder level once more. And this time we're going to bring the hands up so it's as if we're pressing away. Looking straight in front of you, we're going to inhale, bring the arms up again. Palms come overhead if that works for you. If it doesn't work for you, we're going to release the arms just straight down like this. If it works to bring palms overhead like so, then bringing them like this, but really pressing the fingers against each other. So again, bringing yourself back to the present moment now through that sense of touch. Continue to press the hands against each other now all the way, fingers and palms, as you slowly lower them down to the heart center. And once you're all the way down, releasing them, pause for a moment. Notice your body. Movements with intention, where we really focus on the movement and also focus on the contact between different parts of the body, have a different impact on us. So after we've done this, notice where you are, and we're going to do it this way again, but first, we're going to do it more casually. So I'm going to invite you to just bring the arms up any which way. They've kind of landed up there. Bring the palms together. Palms are kind of barely touching, and bring the hands down. Notice how that might have felt different as you release when it was just a casual movement, not necessarily so much intention, not necessarily so much engagement of the muscles and touch of the hands with each other. And again, this time now coming into the movement with intention, inhale, bring the arms up and all the way up, whether standing or seated. As the palms come together overhead, if that works for you, pressing the fingers into each other. And then as you bring the hands down, now also pressing the palms into each other. Notice how it feels to come into this movement with intention. And once the palms are all the way down to the heart center, this time pressing them into each other a little bit more. Relax the shoulders as the elbows, notice them that they're reaching towards the sides rather than coming up. Yeah, perfect. And releasing it down. And exhale. Again, notice the arms, the hands, the shoulders, the neck, the face. Notice your body's temperature. Notice your energy. If you're standing, go ahead and take a seat once more. And once more, turning your head to look over the right shoulder. And notice as you do that, how the left side of the neck feels. Notice your gaze. If your gaze falls to the same place as it did the first time, it may not, just being aware. And bringing the head back to center so you're looking straight ahead. And now looking over the left shoulder. Notice the right side of the neck. Notice where your gaze falls. Bringing the head back to face forward. And feel free to shake anything out that your body might want to shake out right now or stay in stillness. But a moment for you and whatever your body needs. So listening to your body, what you're drawn to do. Your time, your space. And from here, inviting us to roll the shoulders up, around, and back a couple of times. So I'm going to give us a couple of options here for our next set of movements. So releasing this here. So the movement is going to involve the arms, where we bring the arms forward, reach forward like we just did. So we're really reaching. So the part that we just did is the reaching through the fingertips, really elongating. And we're going to exhale through the mouth with a ha as we bring the arms back. Your exhale can be as forceful as you'd like it to be. So if you're feeling like there's more there, then your exhale can be more like ha, ha. If you're feeling like you're in a place where the energy is more a quieter energy, your exhale can be more like ha, ha, whatever works for you. Invitation, if you feel like there's more energy, to also involve the lower body. So where we inhale and then exhale and bend into the knees. So we would be inhaling and then exhaling ha, and bend into the knees. So I'm actually lower a little bit more here. So option could be to inhale, reach forward, and then exhale, ha, bend into the knees. Ha. So whatever works for your body, wherever you would like to be, seated or standing, and however forceful you would like the exhale to be, and involving the legs or not. Gonna inhale, reach in front. Reach through the fingertips, really elongate. So the power is in that elongation because that's the engagement of the arm muscles. Helps reset, bring us to the present moment. Exhale, pull back. Ha, with any amount of vigor that fits for you right now. Inhale, reach. Exhale, ha, and continue at your own pace. Feel free to allow this to be slow and gentle. Feel free to allow it to be faster, more intense. Couple more times. Ha. 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 Two more times. Ha. Last time, wherever you are. Ha. And release. If you're standing and would prefer to come back to sit, feel free to do that. Notice the impact of the movement on your body. Taking a breath in and a breath out. So I offer this type of practice, as well as the ones where we just did the arms, for those moments where maybe there's a need for a little more energy that's hard to find in the reserves. So noticing how the movements impacted you, and again, if they gave more energy, perhaps filing them away. And if they didn't resonate, allowing them to drop, releasing them. No need to remember, no need to retain them if they don't resonate for your body. As we come here to the seated position, once more bring the chin to the chest. Once more, roll the head to the right ears over the right shoulder. Notice how the left side of the neck feels. So checking in to the movement that we did earlier. Once more, roll the chin to the chest, over to the left side, left ear is over the left shoulder. And bringing the head back to center. Bringing the head up. And now engaging the torso a little bit more. So we're going to come to a twist here using the chair. So it works for you to bring your right hand either on the arm of the chair you're sitting in if it has an arm, or on the seat. If it doesn't have an arm, feel free to do that. If that doesn't work, feel free also to keep the right hand on the lap. Inhale, bring the left arm up. And then as you exhale, twisting and bringing that left hand onto the right leg, outside of the right leg. So right hand on the seat, left hand on the outside of the right leg. As you inhale, use both hands to press yourself up any amount. And then as you exhale, seeing if you can twist a little bit more, even if it's a tiny bit. Noticing if when you twist, the breath doesn't flow smoothly, then you know that you need to untwist, come back more towards center. And again, allow the gaze to go as far over to the right as works for you. Notice the breath. One more long, deep breath here. From here, we're going to release the head first of all, so everything else stays where it is, and we just turn to look forward. And then bring that left arm out. And then lift the right hand so both hands are on the lap. Again, pause, notice the two sides of the body. And then switching to the other side, left hand can come on the seat, on the rest if you have an armrest, or on your left leg. Right arm comes up and then twisting to your left. As you inhale, reach the crown of the head up towards the ceiling. As you exhale, twist to the left. Notice the flow of the breath. If the breath isn't flowing smoothly, then it means we need to come back more towards center. Allow your gaze to look all the way over to the left, as far as it can go. Notice that perspective shift. Slight shift from the day-to-day. And releasing first the head to look straight forward. And then bring the right arm out, bring the left arm and release it. Allow yourself to come back to a seated position and circling the shoulders. I'm going to come into a couple more what we call grounding practices here, where we get to engage the senses. So one of the most frequently quoted yoga text excerpts is, yoga is the stilling of the fluctuations of the mind. And the stilling of the fluctuations of the mind comes with engaging the body in the present moment, and engaging our senses either to notice the body or to notice what's around the body. So in this practice, we're noticing the body. So this is earth, fire, water, air. So we're going to start with earth. So earth is the contact between the feet and the floor. So if you're not touching the floor the way you're seated, adjusting so that you're touching the floor somehow. And inviting you to either press the feet into the floor, or if it feels like there's more to release there, feel free to stomp them too, either way. So the most important thing is feeling that contact between the feet and the floor. So either really press as much as works for your body right now, or move the feet if you would prefer. Notice the contact between your feet and the earth. If you were wearing footwear and you'd like to take that off, feel free to do that so that it's directly your foot pressing into the earth. Again, remembering just this is something that we can do during the day to reset, reground. And releasing that press. And now shifting to fire, we're going to rub the palms of the hands together until you've generated quite a bit of heat. And when it feels like you've generated enough heat in your hands that they feel pretty warm, bringing them on your face or anywhere on your body. Just feeling that heat, that warmth. Feel free to rub them again if the warmth released quickly, and then bring them back. That's fire. Releasing that. Moving on to water. So if you have a water bottle near you and you'd like to take a sip of water and swish it around in your mouth, that's an option. Or if not, if you could generate some saliva, swish that in your mouth. And then swallow that. That's water. And then taking a breath in and a breath out. Air. Just the impact of the movements, earth, fire, water, air. Swishing water around in the mouth helps our system come out of the emergency mode that we can sometimes be in when we're carrying a lot of stress and strain. Because when we're in emergency mode, right, our throat gets dry. And so this is a signal that actually the throat isn't dry. And so this is not a moment of emergency where we need to be stressed. We can take that moment for ourselves. So from here, I'm going to invite you to notice where your body is at. Notice a word or a phrase that might describe how your body feels. Notice what might have resonated with your body, what might not have. And then once more, bringing the hands in front of you, coming into this breath, where we inhale for 4 as we bring the arms apart, exhale for 4 as we bring the arms together, and going at your own pace as you go through 3 rounds of this breath. Once you've gone through the 3rd round, pausing, taking the breath in and the breath out. And now to close the practice part of our time together today, and I invite you to look around your space and notice somewhere where when your eye lands on it, it either feels pleasing or neutral. So pleasing is wonderful, and neutral is also wonderful. So, for example, for me, I'm looking at a particular wall. It's bare, feels pretty neutral. And I know it feels neutral for me because my body doesn't notice anything in particular looking at it. So remembering neutral and looking at neutral things is also a helpful reset. And it's just there. And taking a breath in and a breath out. And then if it works for you to bring your palms together in front of your heart center. And thanking yourself for making the time to be here today. Thanking those that have come together in community. And if it fits for you to end with the greeting namaste, the light in me honors the light in you. Namaste. Thank you so much for joining. I am ending here. We're giving us a little bit of time to take your time to close out in any way that helps you shift back to the space. And then also, I know that, Tony, you have a link to a testimonial or an evaluation that you'll put in the chat. So wanting to give us a little bit of time to shift back from the experiential to fill that out whenever you're ready. I'm here and we'll be here for a few more moments to keep the circle. Yeah, feel free to fill that out whenever your body is ready to come back. I'm going to invite you, once you've completed it, whenever that is, so no rush, but putting it out there since folks are at different points in now, to come back to the body, come back to your connection with yourself, and one practice, whether we did it here today or involving the senses, looking at something, listening to something, smelling something, that you will take with you throughout your day, returning to it as many times as needed. So keeping that in mind as you return to your body, to your gift to yourself. And finally, I'll invite you to think of one practice that you will do after you log off here and before you transition to the rest of your day. Maybe the same practice, maybe a different one. That is literally just a minute that maintains that connection to yourself. Thank you so much for joining me today. Really appreciate your presence. I hope to see you on December 14th, where we will engage in slightly different practices. So few overlaps, but also different practices. So knowing that it's a different experience on December 14th. So look forward to hopefully seeing you then. Namaste.